All right, so we'll talk about a few ways to grow your audience and kind of increase engagement on social channels. My name is Chris McDonald. Online, you can find me at Chris McDonald 21. I'm a social media strategist at MMGY Global. I've been at this for 6 years now. I have an extensive background in the travel and tourism industry as well as sports. And before this, I was a high school baseball coach. As I go through it, a lot of times I tend to make sports references, coaches speak, so I apologize if I do that. But going through it, just like anything, you want to pick your platforms wisely. There's no reason to be on 7 social media channels just because they're there. Pick 1 or 2, be really good at it. Because you can do anything, but you cannot do everything. Just like on anything in life, you can't do everything in social. You want to be really good at a few. So narrow your focus. In the beginning, narrow your focus. Be really good at Facebook and Twitter is where we recommend to start. Then once you get that down and you have the time for that, branch out. With everything you do, have a purpose. Before you do anything, ask questions. Are my customers here? Do I have the bandwidth to do this? Does my team have the bandwidth to do this? And overall in this, everything you do has to go back to your overall social strategy and how is it benefiting that. Just because I'm there doesn't mean it's benefiting me. You have to prepare for success. A lot of people have a desire to win, but they don't have the desire to prepare. So we recommend with everything, you create a physical social strategy. Anybody in your camp should be able to go through and see it and know exactly what you're going to do. So what is our objective? Where will we have a presence? What channels are we going to be on? What's my brand voice going to be? I don't want to be uptight and formal on Facebook, but then funny and goofy on Twitter with another spin on Instagram. I want to have one succinct brand voice throughout. Also, what's the frequency of posting? Are we going to post once a day or are we going to post once a week? What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? And then also, what will you post? What's your content going to look like? We recommend creating a content calendar. It's a way to get all of your proactive content out of the way at the beginning of the month, and it's succinct and in line. So what we do is we go through the VCB's website when we're working with the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel, and we look at their main topics at the top. So right now we have highlighted, coming down, as Discover. What we try to do is we try to hit every piece of that within the month of content. It may not happen every week, but within the month we're going to try to hit every segment of the county. We want to highlight everybody within it. So when you're going through to create content, a lot of people are like, I don't have content. You can find it on your own website, which is the overall goal. You want to drive conversions back to your website. You want to have social media referrals that drive conversions on your website. For us, that's e-newsletter signups and guidebook signups. So this is how we set it up. Every month, me and Katie Meckley, the marketing manager at the VCB, work together. So we'll go through, and we have the dates at the top, and then obviously the times that it's going to post. We recommend on Facebook, we post twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday we post once. Also within this, we know I can take this and do it myself, and then I can hand it off to somebody else on my team at MMGY, and they know exactly what should post on what day because they can see the content and they can see the photo. So everything's in line, and we're not posting something about Fort Myers Beach 2 days in a row. Or Sanibel 2 days in a row. We're trying to make sure we hit everything, and it's a cohesive strategy. Same thing on Twitter. We recommend we post once on Saturday, once on Sunday, and then we post 5 times a day, Monday through Friday, with proactive content. So again, we go through, and we have Lonely Planet, which those are conversions. They're not the fun stuff, but you're wanting to throw out there. It's not a beautiful picture of a beach, but those are things that we need to do. We need to be able to measure our success. Our success for us is measured by guidebook signups and e-newsletter signups. For you, it might be, it's whatever you deem as conversion on your website, whether it's bookings, whether it's visits to your site, anything, however you do that, you want to do those. Plus, you also want to drive engagement. You can have questions. You can have a simple sentiment post where Sundays spent on the beach are, and obviously we're asking them to fill it in. Those types of posts get a lot of engagement when you see that comment, and then underneath there's a beautiful photo. Another way to help yourself is schedule out that proactive content. If I spend 1 day writing and then I allot more time to schedule it the next day, I can go through and schedule out a month of content. Great thing about Facebook now is that Obviously, I can schedule it out. I can geo-target it here. So if I just want it to be in Florida, or I just want it to be in Fort Myers, or just the Sanibel area, I can really target it down. As well, in the back end of Facebook, it allows you to boost your post. So I don't have to go back the next day and boost it. I can schedule out when I'm going to boost the post. For Twitter, there's scheduling tools like Hootsuite at the top, or there's TweetDeck at the bottom. We use Hootsuite for ours. We use a pro version. On the free version, you can have up to 3 accounts, and it allows a little bit of tracking. There's a little bit of analytics that it feeds you, stuff you can see about how it's working. So I really prefer Hootsuite, but some people are partial to TweetDeck, or there's other free ones. There's also paid ones that encompass the entire monitoring within it. For us to track, we use Simply Measured, which is another thing. If you need a way to monitor, they have great free tools. So you can go and Simply Measured and use those free tools. They also have smaller pricing plans where you can use that to, as your following gets bigger, to monitor more. It's a good place to check out, especially the free tools is a place to start. Also use photos. We have beautiful imagery all around here, the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel, so use those. Because with photos on Facebook, you instantly get 39% more interaction than just a simple status update or a link. So anytime that you can shorten it, and even if it's a link, you can put it within the copy and have the link up there and then attach a photo. So you're not populating the link down into your status, but instead putting a photo there. And it accounts for 93% of the most engaging posts on Facebook. It gets 53% more likes, 104% more comments than the average post, and there's 84% more click-throughs. But with a photo, you don't want it to just be a little thumbnail-sized photo. You want it to be a landscape photo that's as high res as you can get it, so that it displays beautifully on mobile and on your desktop page. Same thing with Twitter. They really stand out in the timeline. As Twitter becomes more mobile and more people use it on their mobile devices, if I'm scrolling through with my thumbs and I just see text after text after text, and then a photo pops in my feed, I'm more likely to stop. I'm going to stop and engage with that. And if it's a great photo of the area, and I have great feelings or great sentiment about here, and I'm following you, then I'm going to be really likely to engage with that photo. Next thing is listen. It's really easy to go out and just throw your message out over and over and over, even if you've built up a number of followers, but you have to listen. It's a great thing about socials. It's a two-way conversation. So you want to allow the other person to be a part of it. They may not, well, we have this set up, we use Hootsuite, and we try to track as many things as we can, as many keywords as we can. So we have mentions. That's really easy. That's people that they sought us out. They're wanting to talk to us. The hard part is you can set up other things that if it's the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel, we set up hashtag FT Myers Sanibel, or Fort Myers, or Sanibel, or Captiva, or Cayo Costa. Pretty much anything you can think about with this area, we have a keyword search under, I have it under this tab right here. Then when we have the Saved by the Shell campaign going on this summer, everything you can think of with that. Saved by the Shell, hashtag Saved by the Shell in Fort Myers, any of those things we can do. So then when those people spoke to the campaign, we sought them out. We went and talked to them, especially with Saved by the Shell, where we were giving away different stuff and had a surprise and delight campaign going on. Those people that engaged with us or had spoke about the campaign but weren't necessarily looking at us or didn't know what account we were, it allowed us to engage with them because obviously they were talking about the campaign, so we know that they're looking at the destination. Another way to help build engagement is to leverage hashtags and use giveaways. For the recent Island Hopper Songwriter Fest, for us, before the campaign, we wanted to get as much engagement and as many impressions as possible. So before it, we sought out all of the songwriters that had a social presence, and we found out something that was good about them. One of them, Paul McDonald, he has a Kickstarter and he's trying to get his EP going. So we reached out to him and said, looking forward to seeing you at Island Hopper, or hashtag Island Hopper, and then said, good luck with the Kickstarter. And so then we're putting that on our board, so we're showing it to all of our fans. So then he, in return, appreciates that. He retweets us, he engages with us. So if you can talk about somebody else, or find a way that they've mentioned you on Foursquare, and maybe you go out and they checked into your hotel, they mentioned you, you can find them and surprise them with something small. That helps with the giveaway aspect. Also, on Twitter, there's trending topics. So this is for the US, and a lot of times these will have absolutely nothing to do with your brand. There's no way for you to relate. So then you can go in and find more tailored trends. So you can find Florida, you can find Fort Myers, you can do any way to break it down, and then you can jump into some of those conversations and find a way to interject yourself in that conversation. So then you're talking to more followers, or you're talking to more users, trying to convert them into followers. Another way we use hashtags is with specific campaigns. It allows for measurement. So for everything we did with Judy Leisurewood, we used hashtag BFMS Inspired and tried to relate everything back to that. Another way is small giveaways. A lot of times trips and different stuff are great, but something that might be a $5 value to you seems more attainable to a person, so they're more likely to retweet that or engage with that contest because it seems attainable. While a free vacation is great and you're going to get a lot of entries, that seems more aspirational. So we see a lot of engagement with smaller giveaways. So if you can just find small things or small little packages that you can give away, it helps promote it. Also, you can work with us, work with Katie Meckley, get in touch with her, try to leverage the VCB's following so we can help promote your contest, your giveaways, your events. If you let us know far enough in advance. With this, for the Island Hopper, we helped the Pink Shell promote their brunch that they had on our Facebook page with a little contest. So we had the giveaway for the 2 tickets. And then it continues. We had some real-time giveaways. If you get an event or a real-time event where you have a lot of people engaging and maybe you want to give away something right then, with us we had leftover Island Hopper, Got Lyrics t-shirts, and we were at Matanzas, so the first person that came up to us after we had tweeted that got the t-shirt. Next thing is Facebook advertising. Well, it's been free for a long time, and it evolves more into a pay-for-play type of thing with social media advertising. You have over 1 billion monthly users, 58% return daily. You have 800 monthly active users on mobile, and then you can target those ads by demographics, social activity, their likes, and you can target down to even what mobile device they're using, whether it's Android or iPhone. Types of ads. So Facebook acquisition ads, these are just simple, straightforward. You want to get more likes for your page. These appear in the news feed. We're trying to garner more likes. Next one is unpublished posts. These appear in the news feeds of people that don't like your page or maybe friends of your fans. They appear organically and it looks just like a normal post, but they show up in your fans' feeds. And then boosted posts. We recommend these for events you have, contests you have, giveaways you have. Anywhere from $5 to $5,000 is going to help you. Any little boost, because right now less than 16% of people organically see what's in your news or what you post each time. So this helps boost it. Another type is Facebook offers. They no longer allow it to be an online giveaway. You have to go back and you click the offer, you get emailed the offer, and then you physically go to the place of business and use that coupon. So what we have with the VCB, and it's a great program, if you've been to the digital side, I know Claire talked about this as well, and then she talked about it in the main presentation earlier with the digital side, but for Facebook we have different buys where, so what we do is we take the VCB's email database, which is everybody that's signed up for their newsletter. We put that up, we upload that into Facebook. Facebook scrapes all that data, so it takes the email of that user who's signed up for the e-newsletter, and it matches to a Facebook user, and then creates a custom audience. And then that ad, which would be your ad, is served to all of those people who are really qualified leads because they've signed up and expressed interest into Lee County. The great thing is that there's the $500 and $1,000 buys, and what you put in, the VCB matches it, so it helps generate great campaigns like this. We had a lot of success with them last year. This was the Florida Vacation Auction. We got engagements, cost per engagement down to 22 cents, and they got nearly 200,000 impressions with a reach of almost 67,000. Outside of that, the great thing was they had almost 8,000 clicks on the ad, which is pretty incredible with a 3.9% click-through rate, and it was less than 20 cents per click. And another successful one we had was with Miramar Outlets, was less than 30 cents per engagement, and it says 665 ad reach, but it's 65,000 ad reach, 168,000 impressions, and then nearly 5,000 clicks. So really successful campaigns that are really targeted audiences. The next step is if you're trying to grow engagement, we've talked about listening, we've talked about seeking out people, engage with those people, then engage with them more. Because think about it like this picture. With your mentions, you have a lot of people directly staring at you. You also have a lot of people looking away from you, but they're in the same screen. So you go find them. You want to turn all of these people into brand advocates, into fans for you. So engage with them. And just like anything, you get what you put in. So if you put in 5 minutes a day, you're going to get a 5-minute return. If you continually put 5 minutes in every day, then you're going to get a big return. So if you can schedule out 5-10 minutes in the morning and 5-10 minutes in the afternoon to engage with a few people, that's going to go a long ways. Because that time adds up. That engagement adds up, and it'll come back to help you. And we're all extremely busy, but you can find time there. The key takeaways on this is, earlier we said make a strategy, so prepare for success. And then Facebook advertising, any little bit helps. And the third one would be engage. Just engage with your audiences. So you have any questions for me?
When you're developing a strategy, what are some of the elements that go into developing a strategy? I'm imagining you're looking at things like, other things outside of just your social realm, like maybe promotions that might be going on, or holidays, maybe some, CRM initiatives. Tell us about that.
Definitely. We look at the overall marketing strategy if it exists, and we want to model it after that. So we're going to look at what email's doing, what website's doing, what we're doing with our media spend, everything in there, and we want it to all be cohesive, because if we can be as integrated as possible, that's better for every channel.
Eventually, unplanned things happen. Maybe there's a weather event, or maybe the Red Sox win the World Series or something, and we have to change our strategies. How flexible do we need to be? Or give us some examples of how you've had to immediately shift strategies to deal with influences outside of your strategy realm.
Well, with weather disasters, we recommend with anybody, we just go silent, and then we divert people to the experts, so the Weather Channel or whatever the best resource is in the area. With the real-time activities, like let's say Johnny Gomes, a couple years ago when the Red Sox won the World Series, mentioned Fort Myers. So we wanted to jump on that right away. So we quickly shot a few messages within our internal team and got a couple posts out that got a lot of engagement. So if you can find a way to jump on real-time events, but relate it back to your brand, for us that was easy, since this is the spring training home of the Red Sox. But you also want to make sure that they're highly relatable to your brand, and you're not just jumping into a conversation that you really have no business in.
But you don't go silent when it's cold up north, only when the weather's bad here, right?
Yes, only when the weather's bad here. When it's bad up north, when we're
on it.
Yeah, we're definitely suggesting more visitation.
What are some of the new or more exciting developing social platforms out there? We're familiar with Facebook and Twitter, but is there anything new coming up that we should all be keeping our eyes on?
It's just, it all is ever evolving. It changes week by week, and ad spends change differently than the way that you can purchase stuff on Pinterest. There's a lot of tests there with advertising on Pinterest and Instagram. So while there's always up and coming social networks, it'll take a little bit before one actually really breaks through to be the next big Instagram or the next big Snapchat, but there's always going to be somebody.
You talked about boosting ads on
Uh-huh.
Facebook. I'm familiar with them, but have never done it. So how would you suggest starting doing that?
Honestly, go in and click boost and then just read it. Like, it's, that sounds not like the greatest answer, but it'll take you step by step through it, and it'll show you, if I put $5 in, how many people will that potentially reach? And then it'll say 10, and it goes through each dollar amount, and it'll talk you through how much you're gonna extend it.
How does it know who to boost it to?
Well, there will be two choices at the top. The first one is people who like my page and their friends.
Okay.
And the second one is targeted by users that I select, I think is what the exact wording. And you click that and it'll go down and you can target it by state and then by city and then by interest. And you can break it down as far as you want to go.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
You can get very, very specific. Is that all? All right, well, thank you very much.